Hello Retro Readers and welcome back to my channel. So today's video I am doing another Harlequin romance review, and this time it is the same world and characters as the last one, the Maverick's Holiday Surprise by Karen Rose Smith, which if you saw my last video you would know that I didn't really like that one very much. In fact, I actually hated all the characters, well, most of them, but I decided to read the other one, which is The More Mavericks the Merrier by Brenda Harlan. And I'm surprised because I really enjoyed this book. Not enough to where I want to read it again or anything, but I did give it a 3 out of 5 stars. So that's really surprising. I enjoyed it a lot. So yeah, so like I said, this book follows the same characters as the last book, only the sister, Bella, and the guy, Hudson, they are both like in the book, but they're not like main characters. This book follows Bella's brother, who is like this rogue cowboy who is a widow, and he has 3 triplet babies that are 10 months old. And then his friend, her name's Fallon, and his friend, Fallon, she like babysits his kids a lot, and yeah, they fall in love, so it's friends to lovers. Here are my thoughts a little bit before we go into the book and what each chapter is about and what happens. Fallon, she is a redhead, and she's described as a redhead in this book. But in the other book, it doesn't really mention that she's a redhead. In The More Mavericks the Merrier, it mentions that she's a redhead 5 times. And honestly, I feel like, why wasn't Fallon's red hair mentioned in the first book? And how come when Hudson was with the redhead in the first book, which is The Maverick's Holiday Surprise, Bella didn't think of Fallon at all because, you know, Fallon is apparently a redhead. I don't know, that just kind of irked me, and I decided that I should put it in this review, as well as, in the book, throughout the book, there's some random switches of point of views, which makes it very confusing, especially when it's in the same paragraph. So, like, it'll be in Fallon's perspective, and she's all talking about how much she loves Jamie, that's his name, how she fawns over Jamie and stuff. And then all of a sudden, as she's thinking about that, it'd be randomly switched to Jamie's perspective, and he's all like, but she's my friend, so I can't be with her. It was very confusing. Okay, so let's go through the chapters. So the first chapter, I mentioned that I really enjoy the writing a lot. It's less cringy than the first one, and Bella isn't as annoying or irritating so far, because in the first book she was a lot. She was really irritating, and I did not like her. But yeah, in this book she's less irritating, and I would like to thank Brenda Harlan for her amazing writing. Okay, so in the first chapter, you are introduced to Jamie, and he reminisces about his being a single dad of triplets and how his wife died during childbirth. And he just kind of reminisces on that, so you as the reader are introduced to him and what he's about. Sorry, I have my computer right here. Okay. And then you are also introduced to Bella in the first chapter, and which is his sister. And you learn that she has Hudson as a fiance, and she helps take care of Jamie's triplets and her nieces and nephews. It's actually nephews and niece. Let's see. And then Jamie is thinking about allowing the kids to be babysat at the daycare. And Fallon, as he's thinking about that, and him and his sister talking about that, then Fallon comes in and babysits for the day while they're talking. And then she says to Jamie that she wants the baby's first Christmas to be very special. And so she made a list for fun activities that the babies and him and her can do to make it special. And Jamie's not really into that because he feels like they're babies, so they won't remember. Also, he kind of hates Christmas because it reminds him of his dead wife. Anyways, you also find out that Fallon has had a secret crush on Jamie for like a decade or more, and they were childhood friends, and she's had a crush on him ever since. I learned that Fallon knows, and Jamie obviously knows, because he told her that his dead wife was secretly taking birth control while she was trying to get pregnant, or trying to get pregnant because she didn't want the kids. And yeah, Fallon and Jamie only know this, but yeah. So a lot of stuff happens in the first chapter. A lot of character development and stuff, character introductions. And yeah, so the second chapter, you find out that Bella and Fallon are like best friends, but I would like to note that in the first book, they felt more like acquaintances because they didn't really talk or anything like best friends do. And the second book, which is this one, you learn that they're supposedly the bestest of friends, and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but that's okay. So in the second chapter, Bella and Fallon chat while taking care of the babies, and Bella asks Fallon to be whore. And Bella and Fallon, no. And Bellin? Okay. Oh my gosh, okay. And Bella and Fallon, no. Oh my gosh, okay. And Bella asks Fallon to be her bridesmaid, or maid of honor, I mean. I can talk. Okay. And Bella also asks Fallon to help her find a woman for Jamie because he basically needs to get laid. Page 25. No, Bella admitted, but why wouldn't he be content with the status quo when he's got someone here taking care of his babies every day and often putting a meal on the table? The only thing he's not getting is sex. You also learn that his dead wife, or his ex-wife, and Jamie had trouble. She wanted different things than he did, hence, basically lying to him and taking the birth control when they're trying to have babies. Further on into chapter 2, you learn that Jamie has had issues with Christmas because it reminds him of his dead parents, as well as his, like, all the bad Christmases with his horrible grandparents, which they're very abusive and stuff. So, yeah. And that's why he doesn't like Christmas. It also is because him and his wife were, or ex-wife were, like, they were having trouble, and she did not like Christmas, especially during the last year of her life, and they weren't on speaking terms. Chapter 3, Fallon. As she's babysitting the babies and taking care of them, one of the babies ends up puking on her, and so she decides to do her laundry because she doesn't want to stink like puke. And then as she's getting her clothes on, Jamie ends up coming home, and he sees her with a bra, and like just topless, but with a bra, and then her pants are on and everything. She just doesn't have a shirt on, and he is interested, but he's also like, oh my gosh, she's so hot, but also like, we're best friends, so I can't touch that. And then as he's thinking about that while staring at her, she turns around and she's like, oh my god, what the heck? And she catches him and shoos him away. Yeah, so Jamie really liked what he saw. And when it becomes less awkward after that, Fallon is about to leave and he asks her to stay for dinner. So chapter 4, Fallon stays for dinner, and the whole time Jamie is beating himself up because he feels conflicted, because he likes what he saw and he's attracted to Fallon, not Bella. Oh. He's attracted to Fallon, but he's also feels conflicted because she is his best friend and he doesn't want to ruin that. So they end up having dinner together and make plans to cut and decorate a tree later on. And Jamie is thinking about Fallon and how things will change once Hudson and Bella get married. Things will change because Bella and Hudson will have kids of their own, so he won't get any help from Bella. But okay, like, did Jamie forget that Bella can't get pregnant? Because that was a thing that happened in the last book, and yeah. Page 60. But he knew that the whole dynamic in the house would change when Bella married Hudson, and Jamie suspected it might not be too long after that before they'd want to start their own family. His sister deserved to be a mother to her own children, but he knew that her absence would leave an enormous hole in his life, in the lives of his children. And then Jamie is still thinking about Fallon again, and how he can't be together with her because she is his best friend, but she's hot. Basically, that's what he's thinking about. Okay, so chapter 5, chapter 5, the babies, the babies, Jamie and Fallon, are all cutting a tree and decorating it. But I'd like to note that this is like literally close to December 1st, like in the timeline of the book. It is like maybe like December 3rd or something. So why wouldn't the tree, So why would they get the tree? Because wouldn't it dry out by Christmas? And shouldn't Fallon know this because she's had real trees her whole life? I know from my experience with real trees, I'm more into the fake trees than real trees because I like to keep them out for a long time. But I remember when we got the real tree, we had to wait 2 weeks before Christmas or something. So December like 3rd or 4th or something just seems like really way too early. Okay, so anyways, as they're decorating the tree, Fallon steps on a ladder, and Jamie the whole time is worried that she'll fall, so he steadies her by holding on to her waist. And when she gets down, because she's like, oh my gosh, don't touch me, and he's like, I gotta steady you, or else you'll fall. So she ends up getting down, because she's shaking the whole time. And when she does, they stare at each other like the 2 eyes and the mouth emoji. And it's real awkward and quiet. Okay, and then they talk, and Fallon learns that his ex-wife was gonna leave him after she had the babies. And yeah, she learns that, which is horrible. And then when Fallon is leaving, Jamie almost kisses her on the lips, but changes his mind last minute because he doesn't want to ruin the friendship and instead kisses her on the cheek, which she likes. Okay, chapter 6, Fallon goes to her family dinner that she was on her way to, and her mom doesn't approve of Fallon inserting herself into Jamie's life. Jamie and the babies' lives, by sharing Christmas traditions and babysitting as kids. And basically her mom wants Fallon to get a husband and have kids of her own. Anyways, the next day, Jamie brings home 2 orphaned puppies because he feels bad and he feels connected to them. And Fallon, she's babysitting his kids again, and he asks her to stay the night because of bad weather. So chapter 7, Fallon reads a little Christmas story for the triplets for bedtime. And when she's reading to the babies, Jamie walks in and he is captivated by it because it looks like apparently a picture perfect Christmas card or something. As described, say that he's captivated because it looks so picture perfect. But the whole time he's still trying to diminish his attraction to her because she's his best friend. And then Jamie reminisces in bed on his relationship with his dead wife or ex-wife and how she lied to him, but he thought that he could fix it with babies. Chapter 8, Fallon wakes up to Jamie hovering over her, and she bumps she's sleeping on the couch, and he's hovering over her, and she's like, oh my gosh, and so she jumps and bumps her head on his chin, or jaw, and he insists that she kisses his jaw to make it feel better, and she does. Of course, during this time, Bella comes in like the annoying character that she is and interrupts this cute moment. And Fallon zooms out of there real quick. She goes home and her mother tells her she doesn't approve of the sleepover that she had with Jamie, and she doesn't that she had with Jamie, even though it was like she couldn't drive home because of a very bad storm. Then at Jamie's house, Bella pesters Jamie about what she interrupted earlier, about the kiss on the jaw. And Jamie is in denial. He's like, it didn't happen. I don't like her. Nope. she was just kissing my jaw, it didn't mean anything. But he also thinks about how his ex didn't go to her check-ins while she was pregnant, and that led to her death because if she did go, then the docs could have seen the disease she had, which I don't remember what the disease was called. And that's basically the big secret that he won't tell anybody, including Fallon. And Fallon is trying to win Jamie's love before New Year's Eve, because her and her mom agreed to that for some reason. And she goes shopping for a glow up. So chapter 9, Fallon and Jamie plan to go meet in town and to like a town function of wrapping presents. And after her glow up, her little makeover, she walks in and Jamie doesn't notice her. Well, like, he doesn't recognize her. He notices her, but he doesn't recognize her. And he notices her because he's like, oh damn, she has good legs and she's hot. And he like takes some time to ogle her, and then he realizes that the person he's ogling is Fallon. And he doesn't like it because, again, she's his friend, and she's also being checked out by other guys in the place, and he doesn't like that either. So he tries to cover her up, but she isn't happy about that, and that she also thinks that she wasted a whole lot of money for a makeover to get him to notice her, and she doesn't realize that he's noticing her. Anyways, yeah. Let's see. So she decides to agree to go on a date with another guy who like asked her out or something, because he was ogling her. And Jamie was like not in the picture because he was like going to get like Fallon and him drinks or something, and the other guy was like, hey. It seems like Jamie's a bit jealous because he asks her why she'd go out with that guy, and then she leaves because she wants to cry since Jamie was kind of like mean to her and kind of like I don't know, just real mean. So basically she leaves and goes to cry in her car, and he like follows her because he doesn't want to ruin their friendship again by being mean, and he tells her that he tells her to have a good time on her date, and it turns out that he is jealous. So chapter 10, Fallon goes on the date to see a Christmas movie, and she bumps into Jamie. And she learns that Bella forced Jamie to go because he needs a break from the babies and just time to himself. Fallon and her date agree that they, like, later, Fallon continues on her date, and then Fallon and her date agree that they aren't in love and that they should just go out to keep town gossip abuzz. Because they live in a small town. Jamie follows her home and realizes he's jealous. And then the next day, Fallon is babysitting, and they talk, and then they kiss. So chapter 11, Bella and Fallon take the babies to see Santa. And Jamie is not there because he's busy. At home, Jamie finally sees Fallon as a woman and not just a friend, and they have sex. And the whole time, like, before this chapter, Fallon was, like, so, like, confident and stuff, and she's like, I'm so gorgeous. Jamie loves me. Well, not really that confident, but like, she's just like, I'm beautiful. I can get whoever guy I want, except for Jamie, because I don't think he's interested. And she's just really confident, and that's what I like about her. But then all of a sudden, in this chapter, chapter 11, she's all of a sudden very self-conscious, like, about her body, you know, and like, I don't know, like, I was just under the impression that she was very confident, and, I mean, that could change, but it just felt kind of weird. Anyways. Chapter 12, Jamie and Fallon, and the babies go to a candlelight walk in town, and, Jamie woke up to a bad dream, about, like, how his ex, like, basically left him, and then his babies left him to follow his, like, dead wife ex, and then Fallon comes, and she's like, the babies left you, and your wife left you, I'm gonna leave you too. And so he was not in a great mood. So the whole time, he thinks about that dream, and he also realizes that he loves Fallon. Okay. But he doesn't want to lose her. So in chapter 13, he breaks things off with, for some reason, I don't know. Okay. Because he thinks that they're moving too fast and he doesn't want to lose his best friend. Which, like, give me a break. But anyways, he asks her to still be friends, and stupidly, she agrees. And she just tells him that she's gonna leave town, to think things over and to, like, mend for a little bit. And he's like, okay, cool. So after a couple of days without Fallon, Jamie stops at her home and visits with her mom. And then they end up liking each other, like, the mom and Jamie. Not like, but like, the mom finally approves. And basically, he wants Fallon to be with him and not with anybody else. So chapter 14, Fallon comes back from her break, and Jamie tells her that he loves her and wants her to be with him. And she expresses that she loves him too, and she went out of town to retrieve one of his lost siblings. So basically, he had like 6, I think. A lot. I don't remember the exact number. Siblings who basically the grandparents, when they were raising them, just made them leave. So they're all scattered around, and he's trying to find them. So Fallon brings one of them back, which makes him really touched. And so, yeah, later on, he asks her to marry him, and she says yes. The epilogue was, I didn't write anything about it because it was just because it was just not necessary, and basically just insignificant. Yes. Anyways, okay. And yeah, that was The More Mavericks, the Merrier. As you can tell, a lot of crap went down, but I did enjoy this book. 3 out of 5 stars. Probably would not read again, but I do recommend, even if, like, just this, like, if you want to read it, but you watch this video, still read it, because it's still very fun. So yeah, anyways, that's it. Thanks for watching. See, that's it. Thanks for watching. Next month, I will be reading another Harlequin romance, so these videos are not going away. My goal this year is just to read a Harlequin romance every month and review it on here. So yeah. Anyways, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up if you would like. Comment down below what your favorite part was, or if you read this book, or if you have other Harlequin romance recommendations, or if you actually read one and liked it. I'd love to know any of the answers to any of those questions. So yeah, thanks for watching. And if you like this channel, and if you like this channel, you can also subscribe, but you do not have to. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys have a good day. Bye.